What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder, checking back in with another edition of history that we should know, that we should be taught. Today's lesson is about one of the founding military leaders, real guy, philosophers, and a guy that challenged the United States government and won. His name is King John Horse. John Horse was a Black Seminole, Black Aborigine, and a Native American that lived in this country. The significance of this gentleman is that in the town of Florida that was formerly known as a Spaniard colony, where black slaves from Mississippi, southern Georgia, and Alabama went to what known as the Southern Underground Railroad. We do know it was two underground railroads. There was a northern and a southern part because Florida was owned by the Spaniards. And most of the enslaved, captured people would come to Florida to seek freedom and refugees. The reason why we want to shine a light on John Horse is because John Horse was a true definition of a rider. His goals in life were amazing, significant, and outstanding compared to where he came from in life. John Horse led a military army for 4 years actively against the United States government. Why was he so significant? The United States government was against Florida because they were literally taking money away from them at that time. White Americans at the time. John Horse fought against the government so much that the treaty had to be signed. After the treaty was signed, the most significant part about what John Horse and them did was that the United States reneged on their agreement. So when the United States reneged on their treaty and said, no, John, we can't take that L. We still gonna come get you, buddy. John Horse led his campaign with his family and friends by themselves on foot through the lands of America on west. And when they were traveling on west, a campaign full of themselves, defending themselves off the United States, all the way until they got to Mexico. And when Horse led his campaign, when they got to Mexico, they began to get their own freedom and sign an agreement with the Mexican government. The Mexican government said, John Horse, we've heard about your reputation. We know how thorough of a brother that you are. If you can protect us borders from the slave patrols coming down here to get the blacks that wanted freedom in Mexico, we will sign an agreement with you. So John Horse and his brigade again decided to defend themselves from the slave catchers enforcing the black codes in Mexico. They slaughtered them all. That was really what spurred the Mexican-American War around this time. So when John Horse and them were laying down the law, y'all gotta understand, they were killing them. While they were killing the United States government, literally the town of Mexico created a place just a safe haven for John Horse and the civilians can go. So the story still lingers how a military general and how John Horse carried each other. It's not much stories about his upbringing or who his parents were, but I really found it miraculous that this gentleman actually destroyed all the plantations in Florida. That's why there's literally no plantations in Florida to this day. You have some in Mississippi, Louisiana, but John Horse and his people literally burned down all of them. That's why there are no plantations or slave homes in Florida. When you think about it, it's something that we were never taught. Literally, the Horse legacy said everything got to go. Let me let that marinate again. John Horse and his people destroyed everything that was in Florida that had enforcement with slavery. This brother was so bad, man, he literally led a military brigade getting his own freedom in another country. The story of John Horse and the film of John Horse is not told, and it's a true tragedy that must be corrected in our generation, man. I just feel it's an incredible story. I get bright eyes about it because it's amazing what this gentleman did that we do not discuss. Literally, think of all the movies we see about stories about this, the 300, the Bravehearts, going against an astronomical government force and winning. How was this gentleman not discussed about in history? The American history, some sides we do need to discuss and break down. John Horse, man, one bad brother that fought his way out of the government, signed a treaty, and still got his freedom. I salute you, Mr. Horse. I know you're in heaven looking down upon us, man. And this your boy, King Crowder, checking out again with another lesson that is tremendously important that we all need to learn about the gentleman known as John Horse, a Black Seminole who fought the United States government in war and won.